behalf of Thailand Music and Art Organization, we want to congratulate again two of ICIT participants who have won Task City Commission Prize. Jonas Regner, who won the first prize, and Kevin Lermo, who won the second prize. For next year, these two composers, they will write a new pieces for us. And we also want to congratulate all the participants for your achievements and magnificent music. Thank you very much. And as for today, we have multiple group of people here who specialize in different skills and from different fields. We have a conductor, a composer, and engineers. So, without further ado, I want all of you tell us who you are and what you do.
So hi, my name is Pamornpan. I'm a conductor. I work at Mahaniranon University in Thailand. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Mahakit Mahaniranon. I am a composer.
Hello, my name is Thanakarn. I am a first year student at King Mongkut Institute of Technology, Ladakabang. My major is mechatronic engineering.
Hello, my name is Kunanon Patalawatin. My name is Park. I am come from KMITL.
Hi everybody, my name is Mate. Just call me Mate. I'm in major of electronic engineering from KMITL.
And for myself, my name is Thanakarn Schofield. I am a composer. And today I will be your moderator. So, the topic that we're going to discuss today is about human versus technology. The thing is, technology and human, these two subjects are the same thing, isn't it? Because nowadays, we can't live without technology. And for example, our phone, can you imagine you live a life without your phone? It's impossible, isn't it? And even Wi-Fi. And although like we use our phone for many things, for instance, like paying for food, banking account, and many more. But the problem is, these technologies and these programs also are posing us a certain threat. Because, for instance, like banking application, isn't it? Like nowadays, many banks has to shut down because they no longer need humans to operate such operations. And also about us musicians and engineers. For us musicians, the problem is that we have so many programs that could be used to replace human being. And also for the creators like you guys, I have one question. In your opinion, as an engineer who creates so many wonderful things, how do you apply your innovations to the social context and in which aspects? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Okay, in my opinion, I think that technology should be invented and created to help humans do things. For example, washing machines are created to help us have more time to do other things that are more benefit to mankind, not just to wash your clothes. And I think the technology that is replacing humans, those parts are replacing the tasks that we can use those human resources in other way that is more beneficial to humankind.
For me, I think technology will make our life very easier. Think about computer today. Think about television or radio or something like that. It make our life very easier. Something like that.
In my opinion, I think our technology is used to improve and have easier to communicate between your just like artists. And when technology is come, it will make you everybody can talk to each other, use your artists in your mind. It's easier to communicate with others.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your answers. It's very generous, thank you. Also, in my opinion, I think that human like us, we create so many wonderful things, isn't it? And also, technology is not only help our life easier, it's also the extension of our knowledge, of our limitation, something that we can't do, for example, like washing machine, isn't it, and other things. But the problem is that what we don't have and what technology has is time. Humans are mortal. Meanwhile, technology is immortal. Technology lives forever and it will continue. But the problem is, what happens if one day it gains autonomy, freedom, liberation? Like it no longer requires a human being to operate. For instance, AI, robots. Just imagine that these tools, these other beings, these intellectual beings that no longer have flesh, they can live forever. They no longer require a human being to code them, to do what they want, and they gain this authority. What's going to happen to us? And then this question will continue further. However, here I have a question for our conductor, Pamornpan. From what I know that in orchestral culture, now we use so many things like recording tools and video production, and these all are related to technology, but in the aesthetic of conducting or orchestral aspect, how would you apply technology apart from recording process and post-production process?
Well, thank you for the question. I think before I answer your questions, let me just try to answer your questions too, because I heard that you said a lot about you create technology because it's easier for like a living life, but in my point of view, sometimes technology is part of our art too. It's not just easy, but it's part of music. So it's different content sometimes. But okay, before that, since you asked us about like a technology, like innovative use of technology, I think that it's very important to help us to make our performance rehearsals even more easier or very effective. So for example, like we use a metronome, right? So it's and also plus with the speakers, it's very easier than, put some percussionist to be beating for our rehearsals at all times. So I mean, sometimes it's cheaper, but sometimes it's expensive though. So answer your questions. I think that technology helps us a lot in terms of help us to not like easy, but to make things smoothly. Yeah, I would say that not like easy. Okay, and also you asked about recording process. So using, we always use recording our rehearsal for like review our rehearsals. The reasons because every time for performers, conductors, when they rehearse, they cannot hear everything in once. Sometimes they need time to think and review. And recording section or recordings process that help us for review things that we did and we missed something. I think that is useful for us too. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much for your answer. John Pamornpan said one thing about recording process. Just imagine this. Now we are not here in 21st century. Just imagine 2 centuries ago when we don't have any tools like, the computer, recordings, headphones, anything like this. Back then, for conductor like Pamornpan or composers like me, if you want to listen to music, we have to travel to the concert hall. And just imagine if I'm living in this city and I know that a piece by my favorite composer will be performed 200 kilometers away. So I have to travel there in order to listen. But now, that gap is already, it's no more, it's disappeared. And we can just listen to music. We can reveal ourselves. For instance, like conductor, musicians, when they play a mistake, they're not sure like where. Now they can repeat that process by listening to their own recordings. And then they notice what they did wrong. And then at the end, they improve their skill as well. And they become a better performers, better composers, and better conductor. Also, Mahakit, I have a question for you. As a composer, it's not like many years ago when we have to write music by paper, or we need normal notations to express our languages. So I have a question. How do you find technology enhance your compositional languages? And also, like, what kind of discoveries we have found in that process of using technology?
For me, technology helps me a lot for my composition. Sometimes I use a computer to make noise sound, electronic sound, recording sound all around me. And another thing, many times I play my modular synthesizer and I cut and press like a jigsaw. After that, I like to combine them together. I like it. It's very interesting for me.
Thank you so much. So from his answer, just imagine that around 80 years ago, the use of noise and other kind of sounds, which in scientific terms, we would call it harmonic spectrum and many more like regarding to this term. Back then, without technology, we would not be able to detect them. And now we have a program. For example, I can just put a microphone right next to Pamornpan, and then she would make some noise, and that program would take every single sound from her, and it analyzed and transformed that into pitches. But back then, that would be impossible. So just imagine this. In the past few years, we have gained all these possibilities. But what about in the future? What would happen? And back to my very, very first question. Since right now, every single tools, all types of technologies, still under our control, but would it be off control in the future? And in the opinion of engineers, from three of you, what do you think? What kind of future we are facing? And what kind of technology would we have in the future?
Actually, for the first one is that will the technology would be under our control in the future? I think yes, because first of all, we the one that built it, we created it. And this second is even with the machine learning technology that we have today, mostly it would learn from information that we give it. For example, we have to give it, if we want it to analyze waveform, we have to give it thousands and thousands of waveform in order for it to learn and be able to analyze. And in the future, I think the technology that would be with us is the one that's going to replace us in the replace human in the tasks that are required repeating cycle, like workers or like saws or washing or something like that we have to repeat every day. So that would give us more time in order to do another things. Yes, thank you.
For me, in the future, I think I agree with him. the technology will replace some job, like I call this job do it again job.
Repeated job.
For example, to cashier, you have any product and check the price again and again. So maybe the robot can replace this. It just check the price, just like that. And why computer not can do this? Why robot can do this? I think that's in the future.
Okay, in my opinion, I think we are all facing with the era of new kind of artificial AI or machine learning that can use to, I think in the future, the technology will improve. All of you can just not you use the machine learning, but you can collaborate and you can create the music with your AI or machine learning that can some kind of extract your the more powerful in your that you in future you can have a full band, but anybody that not be the same place, but you can use your machine learning to show or extract your powerful to show it, and it can collaborate with your AI. That is a new era because nowadays you use AI to do something for you, but next future you can working with your AI, but you can your AI that's from just like your friend that your friend treat AI and send AI to you. That can more easier to collaborate. Okay, and thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer. Well, the thing is, when I'm listening to all these answers, it comes to me as a musician that if one day it literally replaces, what's going to happen? And also, do not forget that multiple tasks nowadays it could be replaced because it requires it's like some tasks we have to admit, like some tasks, some jobs, like at the present time, it does not require any specialization, like you guys said, like cashier, labor job, like carrying things. Why we need human to carry it? Why don't we use robot or any other kind of tools? But the problem is that it would be nice if that's the case, because what human has, the biggest problem is population. What are the amount of population nowadays? 7 billion. And what's going to happen to the people who lose their job? These small job that it does not require a human being to do it anymore. For instance, we have one company in Thailand that already taken out all the employees, laborers, and they use robot to work on that. And the thing is, robot can work for 24 hours. What about human being? How many hours we can work per day? 12 hours. Just imagine you have to carry things for 12 hours. What's going to happen? We're getting tired, correct? And we need to sleep. We need to eat. And we get sick, and we can die. But what about them? They can't. And also, about the repeated task. In the orchestral culture, sometimes they have to play the same music over again and again and again. You can ask our nice lady at the reception, how many times has she played Brahms symphony or Mahler symphony? Probably more than 30 times, isn't it? It's a lot of times. And also for Pamornpan, who is a conductor, sometimes you have favorite moment, which maybe you want to keep it forever. And maybe you want to repeat that sound, that gesture, that harmony, that process again. But because they are human beings, maybe they can't do it, isn't it? Because human beings are not perfect. Maybe we can do the same thing, but it maybe contain like some changes or maybe a little bit different. So for the next question, it's quite long, I'm gonna ask you. In the near future, and actually even now, currently technology is gradually replacing human resources and exceeding our ability and capacity. As for orchestra, nowadays we have many tools that can simulate the sounds of orchestra. And if in the future, technology, programs, AI, and robots could simulate orchestra completely, what would be the role of orchestra players, human players? And in your vision, should the orchestra players be replaced with technology? In this case, you would save huge amount of funding, correct? And you don't need to rehearse. And if not, how would they overcome with such circumstances?
I think it could be, but for me though, how much technology, how much that a lot of people think technology can replace human, we always like find our humanity much more. For example, like back then, like for example, Sony created a robot. I think everyone know that one robot can conduct a symphony in, if I'm not wrong, I think 2004. Back then, like many years, robot can conduct symphony with a Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra. I remember that is the Beethoven Fifth Symphony. I think before that, people who create the AI, they have to correct data and also algorithm to much more that they can create algorithms that conductor be able to conduct. That means like, I think it's same like art. Even tiny bit for tempo change, that means different piece. You know, for me, even that is the same piece, same orchestra, same people, same conductor, but that is different experience. That's, for me, that is art too. You know, sometimes like when you, for example, like you come to you came to orchestra, same ensemble, same conductor, same piece, but at that moment, you might feel like maybe you broke up with your girlfriend. You feel like so sad. You know, sometimes you heard very fun music, but you still feel sad. You know, but different time when you heard some sad song, you know, but you're so happy. You might find other things from that performance. I think that is not just about performance. Sometimes it's about experience, about your your emotions and performers also, at that moment. I think that is part of art too. So that means like in future, it could replace. But for me right now, humanity is like unbelievable for me, especially for music. And also, when you said about like a budget, I know it's a big thing for every field that like, oh, we have like a limit budget and we have to cut musician and this. Okay, now maybe we can rent, or maybe we ask composer, can you write something for electronic, and we don't have to rent, we don't have to hire all musicians and things like that. But for me, that means like it's not art though. You just create a work, but it's not art for me. I think artists is, you have to cut things about money off, and you have to believe yourself and your trust So to me, I mean, if you want to do that, that is your choice. But I think it's same like a humanity. If you think that we don't have enough money to do that, so I'm gonna find another way to do the human. So we don't know. I think we're gonna create something to fix that problem, right money though.
Yes, actually that's quite tough. And also, thank you so much for your answers. I did regain some faith in humanity. Thank you so much. So, Mahakit, I'm gonna repeat the aspect from Pamornpan. So, Pamornpan, she states that art with technology is two different things because human has emotion. Why technology doesn't have it? But the problem, no, not the problem, the good thing is using technology, you composer, you artist, and it helps you in many ways. You create like so many wonderful sounds, noises, and also like jitter video. But the question is, do you find yourself in that, like you, human presence? Do you feel that you're able to express your musical language while using technology? Do you feel that it's under your control or it's off your control? And do you feel that when you're using them, the sounds that you generate, does it come from outside or from within?
I think technology give more way to compose my song, and technology have create the sound that acoustic instrument not do it. Technology cannot control people if people control it.
So, thank you so much for your answer. But I feel that right now, we still have ability to control. And still it becomes a question that is not for us to answer because in our generation, technology is still under our control. So we are kind of safe at the moment. But imagine 100 years from now on, we have a second-class type of citizens that's called AI or cyborg or even robot itself. What's going to happen to us then? It's always coming back to the same questions, isn't it? And it's keep repeating. So for now, let's like keep this question in mind. And for today, we have enough information to carry on in our life, making art and making wonderful creations. And hopefully that it will be a kind of safeguard for the next generation. So thank you for 5 of you. And before I'm gonna end this panel discussion, I want you to give us a little bit information what you're gonna do today. For example, you have to conduct some pieces and you still have like work installed here and you guys as well. Just tell the audiences here about your work a little bit, like what's gonna happen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's start with me. So at 3 today, we will have a concert that performance with 5 composers. That and also in the music is also include some electronic instrument play with acoustic instruments. Some of that used with the electric guitar. I think the piece also Thanakarn used with the electric guitars and create some effect, a lot of effect for a guitar, which sometimes like a match with the saxophone style. You know, it's very interesting sound that we can hear. Some electric instrument imitate or acoustic instrument imitate, you know, sound with electric guitar. So yeah, please welcome and experience with us.
My work I perform in the morning. My work focus on electronic sound. I like the noise sound and indeterminacy of sound. I like color of sound. It is, I create it.
For my work over there, it is actually a Tesla coil which has been invented around 100 years ago. But for today, it would be playing a song with a 20,000 volt lightning bolt. So to simplify, it is just like playing sound with an electrical arc. Thank you.
I am here today to show the thing we can create, like my music. It is the mature your brainwave and to make the song. If you want to see, you can see by this booth. Okay.
Over that corner.
Yeah.
And my work is about when AI come through and you will how you express, and I want to make more easier to because AI is a new era and it have a law of some kind of knowledge that you know, and I want to apply this knowledge to others and make you in your daily life, and you can express in just like electronic circuits that you can interface things just like your brainwave and your music that can interfacing easier.
Yeah, so all of you can experience all this work all day long until 7 p.m. And also about Tesla coin, don't touch it. It hurts. Unlike like the other robots around here, they're very friendly and quite nice and very cute too. Also, on behalf of TML, I want to thank you, our sponsor, SCG Foundation, for making all these things happening. And also for tonight, I have to say thank you to Pro Helvetia. It's a Switzerland foundation. Without them, we would not be able to produce a concert tonight as well. So for up next, we have another discussion panel about aura, virtuality, and reality. Please, looking forward to it. Thank you very much.